Dirty water.
Yeah.
Beers. Kitty cats. Oh! Hello, and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. It is team profile and projection season, and we're getting to the dogs, the top 10. And at first, we're going to ship up to Boston. I'm Jake Storielli, Rob Scirocco producing, Dalton Feely putting the sheet together, and most importantly to me, sorry everyone, Trevor Plouffe out on the left coast. How you doing, Coach?
We're getting there, Pop. 10, 9, 8. That means the season's approaching quickly. Got the WBC going right now, but we're talking about World Series contenders, and I like that. That gets me fired up, Coach.
Yeah, we're leveling up again. I said that this tier kind of mixed up together, but even seeing like the Sox won 89 games last year and what they have potential to do. My Brewers, which we've been talking about too much, the surprise Pat Murphy episode. I think it's time to sink our teeth into it, Coach Trev. As we start out with the team profile and projections on Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by T-Mobile. It is the top 10th ranked Boston Red Sox kid, 89-73. They lost 2-1 in the AL wildcard to the New York Yankees. They had a top 10 offense by pretty much every metric last year except home runs, which I think could be an interesting conversation with this team. A really strong bullpen. Aroldis Chapman's kind of crazy season, also with some other help back there. The starting pitching, I mean, if you take Crochet out, the numbers probably look a lot more interesting. Luckily, they have him, and they have added there. But first, who they've lost this offseason, Alex Bregman. Discussed a lot on this show what he meant to that organization and playing a strong two-way third base. Steven Matz is out of town. Rob Refsnyder, mashing lefties. Dustin May, who came over. A few of those bullpen pieces are out of town. Guerrero, Murphy, Bernardino, Fitz and Dobbins, Jordan Hicks, Kyle Harrison. Sox had an active offseason, huh? Nathaniel Lowe finished the season there. Liam Hendricks is out of town. Back in Minnesota, Coach. Justin Wilson, Lucas Giolito. So, man, when you see all the names on the paper, Boston had a lot of bodies leave town. Who's new in the zoo, Trev?
I feel like you also have to put Rafael Devers in the who they lost. I mean,
yeah,
it didn't happen in the offseason, but it happened last season. That's kind of a big talking point for this team. They did. You know what? They tried to go after a few guys. They tried to go after Bregman. Didn't work out. Pivoted to someone I think and if you're a Sox fan, you're really going to love watching this guy pitch. And Ranger Suarez, he gets a 5-year $130 with Philly. Just one of the most chill yet ferocious competitors out there. I don't know if I put that correctly, but if you know, you know. He comes over. He'll be a great 1-2 punch with our guy Garrett Crochet. IKF comes over on a 1-year $6 for a little bit of infield depth. And then there was a lot of trades that went down, and the Red Sox were looking at the Cardinals roster and saying, hey, I'm liking some stuff. Can I have it? They bring in Sonny Gray. He'll be the 3 in that rotation, and I feel like people don't give Sonny Gray enough credit. How about that? We'll get into it a little bit later. Johan Oviedo comes over from the Pirates. We'll see if he slots in to the rotation. Like I've heard some rumblings. There might be some bullpen talk with him. Very interested, a guy with a big arm. So a nice piece there. Wilson Contreras also comes over from St. Louis. A guy that can really, really hit. 123 OPS plus last year. A guy that we love from the Brewers. Caleb Durbin comes over for some infield depth. Second base, third base, a high floor because of the defense that he brings. You're going to love watching this guy play as well. Then a couple other guys in that trade, Anthony Siegler and Andrew Monasterio. They both come over from Milwaukee as well. Mickey Gasper for some catching depth. Love Mickey Gasper, by the way, on the Twins last year. That's kind of who they added. So let's get into the lineup, Jake. And I love the lineup. I truly do. Headlined according to Fangraphs, by our guy Roman Anthony at the top. This guy looks every bit the part of being just a true masher in this league. Gotta love it. Trevor Story right behind Tim. Jaron Duran, Wilson Contreras, Will Abreu, Caleb Durbin, Cedon Rafaela, Marcelo Meyer, and Carlos Narvaez rounding things off for the Sox. On the bench, IKF, Andrew Monasterio, backup catcher Connor Wong. And then what do you do with Masataka Yoshida? You got to find him some playing time as well. Tristan Casas, he's going to be back in May. Roman Gonzalez, maybe sometime in April. Then you got guys like Christian Campbell, Nick Sogard, guys that are going to be around on the team at some point. So I like the lineup. It produced last year. I think it's going to do it again this year. What about that rotation in the bullpen, Jake?
Well, at the top of the rotation, it's the bad man who is currently pitching in the bad era for him, because otherwise we talk about Garrett Crochet a lot more if Skubal and Skeens didn't exist. Like, I think he's next up to the plate, or the mound, I guess you'd say. Ranger Suarez, para-lefties up there. Sonny Gray comes in. Brian Bayo after a full season of good ball. And you mentioned Oviedo there. He's looked pretty strong this spring. They also, Peyton Tolley and Connolly Early, the young guys, along with Patrick Sandoval working his way back, Cutter Crawford. So, like, the depth here, which I think is going to be a big discussion around this team, is there. And then in the bullpen, Aroldis Chapman was locked down. Garrett Whitlock is also kind of that dude. Slayton, Weiser, Kelly from the right side, Giovanni Moran, and you'll see Keller, Watson, and a few other bodies probably from that rotation depth filling in. And that are your Boston Red Sox, Coach Trev. And I think it's there's a few big topics here. Let's start with, I think, the more exciting part for me, and I do think it's the starting pitching depth / capabilities. Again, there's about 3 teams in baseball that you can lock in your number 1 starter to do what he's going to do, and Garrett Crochet. And who knows? There might even be more. Like, he went toe-to-toe with Skubal last year. There's an argument Skubal's name helped him get across the finish line with the Cy Young next to Crochet a little bit. And then from there, adding Sonny Gray, adding Ranger Suarez, Oviedo, Sandoval, a lot of these guys that if they potentially click this year, I really like the Red Sox pitching options. And I think going into a season, I think that's more important for a Red Sox team because that stadium's going to give you some run output.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the most deep pitching staffs in all of baseball. I mean, so yeah, if you're a Boston Red Sox fan, you have to be excited about that. I mean, to me, if you look at this team, like I said before we even started this is a World Series contending team. I had them preseason in the World Series last year, didn't work out. Not everything went their way. I think a lot of Boston Red Sox fans are still kind of deciphering how their offseason went, because at the beginning it seemed like it wasn't going right. No Pete Alonso, no Alex Bregman. You give away Devers last year, so it was like, where are we going with this? But I think they end up deciding trades to get a first base help in Wilson Contreras. You fortify that pitching staff through a trade and a big signing in Ranger Suarez. So all in all, I think if you look at this Red Sox offseason, you have to I don't know if you give it an A, but it's damn close, isn't it? And this team is set up. And, I think one thing they struggled with last year, you could talk about like the outfield defense is awesome. Narvaez is a great framing catcher. Like the infield defense wasn't great. A lot of guys kind of mixing and matching, maybe out of position there. But they're going to shore that up this year. Durbin's going to play well over there. I think Meyer can handle third base just fine as well. I think we're going to be looking at an even more complete team than we were last year.
Yeah, I think pitching-wise, it's no question. Like I mentioned on the way through, if you look at last year's starting pitching stats, and this is, you could do this with any great player in baseball. If you take out the great player, the rest of the team's stats are going to go down. That, outside of Bayo, I think the Sox rotation could use a little more stability last year, and I think they've added the pieces to do that. Sonny Gray on a given year, what he can give you, Ranger Suarez on a given year, what he can give you, and then if one or two of those young guys pop, you're looking at potentially one of the best rotations in baseball, which that hasn't been the Red Sox MO for a while.
You know what I saw that was really interesting? That has nothing to do with what you just talked about, so I'm sorry.
It's all right. I saw your face light up, so I'm excited to see it.
Last year they went over the first tier of the competitive balance tax balance, competitive balance tax, by $1.5 million. What are we doing?
Right?
Why would you do that? Like, how did that happen? Is that like a clerical error? And someone's like, "Oh shit!" Like, we were supposed to be under it, because that's not a big deal. But when you go over it for the second year in a row, all of the taxes go up. I saw that and I thought that was pretty interesting. That had to be someone messing up, right? You don't go $1.5 million over on purpose.
20% tax on overages while being $1.5 million. Yeah, I don't.
That's bad.
We need a cap expert. If you're one of the people in our web and you're actually in it, let us know. You probably have a very different brain than us, but maybe we can make things work. For me, with the Boston Red Sox, I mentioned it on the way through. I think the two conversations with the offense, pitching, depth and pitching, that stuff just figures itself out. It does. Offensively, they have a lot of options. You talk Yoshida and Casas currently without a spot in the lineup, when I think if we were doing this a year ago and they were slotted as the 4th and the 6th hitter, we'd be like, this Sox lineup's pretty solid. I'm interested to see how the depth looks and feels, because depth can be an amazing thing, or it can be like, should this guy be playing because this guy's not contributing? And then the other thing that just jumps out to me. That's how I used to say jump as a little kid. A little fun fact. I used to say jump.
Okay.
I don't know where we're getting 25 homers.
Yeah, I mean, they got some guys that can do it. I'm looking right now. I did not know that Trevor Story hit 25 last year.
Yeah.
Didn't have that. Okay, yeah. Trev, had a boy.
He had a very nice seaon.
I think you can get 25 out of him because he did it last year. I think Roman Anthony can give you 25. I think there's no doubt about that. After that, yeah, it gets a little interesting. Like Willier hit 22 last year, and maybe you see him have an uptick there. But yeah, if you're looking for like a big time power bat, yeah, maybe they don't have that. Wilson Contreras, can he do that?
I think he can, and that's what, when you go through his seasons, because he was a catcher, he didn't have necessarily the most at-bats or games played going to Fenway. Like, I do think he could be the 30 guy, and Roman Anthony too, which, okay, if they both do it, but there's also, they haven't, and maybe they will. But I do think when you said the Red Sox offseason was an A, I think Red Sox fans would come back at you and say, especially losing Devers to Bregman, I think they were expecting one more piece in the middle of the lineup.
Yeah, no, for sure they were. They were expecting Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen. But I think Wilson's a good hitter. I mean, look, 15th in homers last year, 7th in runs. I think he'll take 7th in runs every single year. So I look at this team, Jake, and I'm saying, where are the holes? What can you be upset with as a fan? And I think that a lot of times I view it that way when we're doing these TPPs. Like, what are you mad about? And yeah, you just mentioned no Bregman, no Alonso, but like you went a different route and you run prevented. You got pitchers, you got some infield defense, made some good trades. I'm going to be all in on the Red Sox again this year. There's just something about them that I like. They have a complete roster. They do.
You mentioned the defense. They rated out pretty well defensively, and they have some special guys in important positions. I think the Red Sox fan base, and I don't know whether it's right or wrong, I feel like they're still waiting for their all-in move with all these prospects. And maybe the smart move was not. Like, maybe Roman Anthony and Marcelo Mayer, they combined for 11 WAR this year, and the future has been here. Wheeler Abreu is one of those tricky guys that you look at the stats every year and like, who the hell is this guy? That maybe all the pieces are there. We thought Duran was going to be traded for the past 2 years. I don't really know why, because he just contributes. That maybe Ranger Suarez, Sonny Gray, Oviedo, those young pitchers, maybe that's it. And I trying to be fair about it. I just think the power can be questioned. They were 15th in homers last year. What does that feel like? But at the same time, the Milwaukee Brewers were great at everything offensively except hitting home runs. Same with Toronto. So if Boston can fit that mold, which I absolutely think they could, yeah, they can win the East.
If you feel like you have a set infield now, and Rafaela won't be playing shortstop anymore, you do have 4 incredibly capable outfielders. That's we've talked about before. Whether it is their starting pitching depth or that outfield depth, there is a move still to be made. If they need to make one, they feel like they're deficient in a certain area, they have the capital to go get things done. So again, that's just another reason why I'm in on the Red Sox. How many games did Rafael play shortstop last year?
Yeah, I was literally just going to him too, because Trev, you want to talk about a sneaky almost 5 B-War season, Ceddanne Rafaela.
Okay, he didn't play shortstop at all last year. That was in 2024. Second base, he played 24 games. Okay.
And yeah, ended up winning the Gold Glove at age 24, kind of learning on the job essentially after playing 87 games in center the year before. So you don't even want to wish for more defensively. I think he's already got that.
He's so good out there. He's so fun to watch.
He was 16-20 last year. Could he be a 20-20 guy? Could he be a 20-30 guy while playing that defense? Then you're looking at a 6-WAR player. You see the path easily for Boston. I think the conversation from them just in what could be a very good AL East. And then how does the offense feel day in, day out? But man, they are. I guess I'm interested to see the next 9 teams on the list because they have felt stronger than I feel like looking at any of the previous teams. They're over under, Coach Trev, and we know Vegas doesn't mess around with the money. 87.5. 87.5 for the Boston Red Sox, who won 89 games last year.
I got a clear answer here.
I do too.
I'm high on them. I'm going over. I'm taking them to win 90 games this year.
I don't know if I'm even that high on them necessarily, but I think that number's low. I think they are. I guess if I'm saying over that, I'm expecting them to be a good baseball team. I mean, Roman Anthony, we spent a minute on him, not even, and like he could be, by the end of this season, he could be in the handful of like a top 10 player next year. The thing about how many guys we've just gone around the field with and are like, they could be a certain level of special that number feels off to me. They feel like a 90-win team, even if some things go wrong. Wow. Okay. AL East, man. I didn't hate what I saw from the Rays. I like the Orioles.
It's going to be good. Yeah.
Oh boy. We're going to have a sad team in the AL East again. Today's episode is sponsored by MLB The Show. MLB The Show 2026 is almost here, and the World Baseball Classic is back. Take on real-life World Baseball Classic teams from all over the world with your Diamond Dynasty squad in the online mode. Step up to the plate in brand-new World Baseball Classic ballparks, including the Tokyo Dome and Estadio Hiram Bithorn in Puerto Rico. Additional 2026 game features include Road to the Show, Road to Cooperstown, the Negro Leagues mode, Season 4, and upgraded franchise mode experience. New legends every year, people. Pujols, King Felix, Petey Pedroia, Andrew Jones, and more. Pre-order now. Available March 17th on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and Nintendo Switch. Rated E for everyone. Let's keep it going to the 9th-ranked team. The most controversial team on this program. It's the Milwaukee Brewers. They went 97-65 last year, the best record in the sport. They did lose 4 games to nothing in the NLCS to the Dodgers. They had the best road record. They had the 3rd best home record, 3rd in runs scored, one of the best pitching teams all around. They catch the ball. They throw the ball. Their manager is Tough Love, which is just secretly love, people. And these Brewers do operate differently, so this is where the rankings of this team feels a little weird sometimes. Who they lost? Jose Quintana, WBC, Colorado Rocky, Danny Jansen, Shelby Miller, Jordan Montgomery. The one that you might feel the most, Freddie Peralta. Fastball Freddie and Tobias Myers traded out of town. So is Isaac Collins, who got some Rookie of the Year love last year, going through that voting. They traded Durbin to Boston. Nick Mears, Siegler, Monasterio, Rhys Hoskins. He's in Cleveland. So I'm a little nervous, Trev, because I feel like the parts in aren't going to feel the same as the parts out.
They never do, but it doesn't really matter.
I don't know.
They bring in Luis Renifo. He was with the Angels last year on a 1-year, $3.5 million deal. They bring in my guy, a former pupil of mine, Gary Sanchez, a 1-year, $175. He was in Baltimore last year. Akil Baddoo. Remember when everyone thought he was going to be the guy for the Tigers?
Yeah.
They bring him in on a 1-year, $125 split contract, so not a guaranteed major league deal. And then we had some trades. They bring in Angel Zerpa. Angel or Angel?
Ooh, I have him as an Angel, but
I just call him
double
Zerpa.
check.
Okay. Well, they get him from the Royals for Isaac Collins and Nick Mears. Brandon Stroke. Angel, yeah, I remember that.
Damn it.
Brandon Sproat comes over in that trade of Freddie Peralta and Tobias Myers. He comes over with Jet Williams. Kyle Harrison, that was a trade with the Red Sox. He's over here. David Hamilton in that same trade. They also re-signed and gave the qualifying offer to Brandon Woodruff, a guy who I think we're going to spend some time talking about. So they brought in some pieces, whether it's free agency or trades. Let's take a look at that lineup, Jake, because usually when we go over the Brewers lineup, we're like, where's it all going to come from? I feel like this is one of the better Brewer lineups we've seen in quite some time. According to Fangraphs, left field, Jackson Chourio, Bryce Terang, William Contreras, Christian Yelich, Sal Frelick out there and right. First base, Andrew Vaughn, your guy. Right now, they're giving Luis Renifo the spot at third base, although I think there is a little bit of competition there. Garrett Mitchell out there in center field. Joey Ortiz, kind of a make-or-break year for Joey Ortiz. And then on the bench, Jake Bowers, David Hamilton, Blake Perkins, and my guy, Gary Sanchez. There's some prospects on the way. Jet Williams, Jefferson Quero, Reese McGuire, who mentioned Akil Baddoo. So that's the lineup. Again, looking and kind of liking, depending on a few things. What about the rotation and the bullpen?
In the rotation, Brandon Woodruff, as you just mentioned, can chop up some stats on him because they're all good when he's pitching. Jacob Mizorowski took baseball by storm last year. He's going to be locked into the rotation. Chad Patrick, Brewers player generator. Chad Patrick. Logan Henderson, watch out. Kyle Harrison, I'm very interested to see. The Brewers brought him in for a reason. Talented left arm. And then you're going to see also Brandon Sproat, talented right arm that they brought in for Freddie Peralta. Robert Gasser, Shane Drowan, Quinn Priester, a little bit of wrist stuff, but don't be surprised if you see him. And then in that bullpen, man, Abner Uribe has been turning some heads at the WBC, which I didn't think he could turn heads even more. Trevor McGill, Jared Koenig, Ashby, and Zerpa from the left side. Grant Anderson, Zastrinsky, and Hall from the left side. We Craig Yoho in this house. The Brewers are going to pitch, and that's part of the reason I love them, Coach Trev. For that reason, what's that curious look on your face, big dog?
I do like the Brewers, and I do think that they tend to just figure things out. I think they're great at developing talent, having guys reach kind of their potential. But the more and more I look at the roster, the more there are. I don't want to call them make or breaks. I think there's a nice floor here, but to get to where the Brewers want to really get to, a lot of things kind of have to go right.
Okay.
Like Woodruff has to come back and be that guy. Jacob Mizorowski, like what are we going to see from him? I'm a believer, but like, is he going to be the guy that burst onto the scene in the first couple of starts, or is he going to be the guy that wasn't even getting the ball later in the year? And I know that's a lot of innings, and they were watching that and all that. I understand that, but I think those two guys right there, your 1-2 in your rotation. Okay, like I'm banking on that, but there are some question marks there. And then I think in the lineup, part of the reason they did so well at the end of the year was your guy Andrew Vaughn coming over, and he was a Yordan Alvarez type hitter in that lineup last year. Do they get the same results? Like, there's no way you can bank on that, right?
I mean, I'll give you Vaughn. I don't know what to do with that. I just don't. Like, I can tell you, away from the White Sox and Brewers, I don't know. It's a smaller sample size. I'm glad he felt that. Like, he was a top pick, and I've liked how he's looked, that maybe this is an organization that operates at a higher level than other orgs. Pitching-wise, I can't help you, Trev. Like, how many years are we going to do this? You know?
I agree on that.
So, like, to question the offense, I think is fair, because what their offense did last year felt ahead of their skis. They were third in average. They were second on base percentage, third in runs, 22nd in homers. So, second in stolen bases, which that checks out. And, man, every at-bat was tough. That was the going into the postseason last year. Is like, if you want to root for baseball, it's probably the Brewers in Toronto, because whatever those guys are doing offensively just felt different. But like you said, the upside feels higher than previous years. That, whether it's Vaughn, is Bryce Terang the Team USA starting second baseman? And does that guy have 6 WAR a year now? I don't know. I think it's there. I obviously had them second in my power rankings, that I think we just need to treat them differently.
I get it, and I'm with you on that, but I think it's fair to kind of like look and say, okay, on the sheet right here, Brandon Woodruff since 2023 has thrown 131 and 2/3 innings.
Right.
Like, okay, he's your anchor, he's your ace, and when he's on the field, he's great. I understand that, but like I think there's a little question mark there. That's okay. And then you look at the rest of the guys in the rotation, guys like the career starts under their belt.
Right.
There's not a lot. So like, I think it's fair to question it. You can also believe in the system, which we do. I mean, they're always just, I think it's a little bit of a cop-out to say the Brewers are just going to brewer. But they do have a track record. So you have to take that into consideration. I'm just saying, like, I do like this team, but there are some issues that you have to realize they have.
Yes and no. I'll give you yes and no on that. So the best Brandon Woodruff butter knife I can give you, if you do since 2020 and you do a minimum of 90 games started, he has the best ERA. It's a 2.81. It's then Max Fried, Corbin Burns, Kershaw, Wheeler. Now, there's a little bit of funny business there. He has 93 starts where Max Fried has a $144. So, like, I am factoring out the injuries, but when he pitches, he's there. Mizorowski, hey, man, if you want to play the bad card, I can also play the freak show card. And then I've got Chad Patrick waving at you. I got Tobias Harris, a nice small forward in the NBA. I got Tobias Myers waving at you. That, like, they have real prospects checking in. I think the pitching is going to be there. And, dude, if you go from 2018, they've made the postseason every year except 2022, and they won 86 games that year in a season that felt like the wheels were coming off. And I think that was that the year they traded away Hader? And we were like, Brewers, you messed with the recipe. Well, did they? Because now they've won the division 4 of the past 5 years.
I'm in on them. I'm just questioning a few things. My goodness. I know they're your Brewers, number 2 in your power rankings, but let me question some things. That's okay.
You can question it. William Contreras had a fine year for William Contreras. I think he's got more in there. And Trev, honestly, the guy I'm most excited about, and it's our new segment, Who's Gonna Deliver, presented by Amazon. Just how Amazon is there to save the day when you're in a pinch. Let's talk about the player who's going to step up and save their team when it matters most. Jackson Chourio. I think between some slow starts and some different split stuff, he's gotten lost in the mix for how young and how good he is. He's the youngest player in MLB history to record a 2020 season. He turns 22 March 11th, so I forget which day this comes out, happy birthday or not. And I don't know, man. I feel like when you look at his seasons between last year just mashing lefties, struggling with righties, which was reversed from his rookie year, his slow start has had his rookie year. If this guy puts 6 months together, he has a chance that he's already on a special list for what he's on a list by himself in baseball of youngest player to 2020. That's pretty rare. I think he can, I don't know if the sky's the limit. I think 30-30 could be in play. I think just a more consistent 800 OPS could feel amazing out of him. And that could be setting the bar low for him. So he's the guy for me.
It's funny, man. If you look at the stats from last year and you take Andrew Vaughn out of it because he wasn't there for a ton of time, I mean, everybody is just kind of like 760 OPS, 770 OPS, 780 OPS, just all right above that 100 OPS plus mark, man. They just kind of get the job done. Death by 1,000 paper cuts, right?
Sure, yeah. Something
like that. And then every once in a while you get a big trio bomb, or Yelly clocking in with 150 last year was really good for them. I'm in on this team, Jake. Yeah. I'm in on this team. I'm just trying to check it out. They do have the number 1 ranked farm system as well. So, like, that's, when's Jesus Made going to get up here? He's 18 years old. Jet Williams.
Right.
They got guys. I was going to say, Joey Ortiz, I think, make or break year for him.
Yeah.
2024, good. 2025, not so good offensively. And with all of, like, a lot of the prospects the Brewers have are middle infielders, it's a good problem to have, man. It's a good problem to have.
And just, yeah, I think honesty hour, if this is where the Brewers on paper, if we went first base, second base, shortstop, third, and I said Vaughn, Turang, Ortiz, Rengifo, and we ranked that, I don't know. But they were confident enough to trade away Caleb Durbin, who could play second or third, and looks like he had a nice rookie season to build on. And they don't care because they brought in pieces they like more, and they know what they do. And every prospect they call up can catch the ball and run.
Where does Tobias Meyer fit in?
He's with the Mets now, and you need to get that in your head.
Why did you wait? Hold on. Why did you bring him up? And I keep doing that.
I know.
I keep freaking doing that.
And the funny part is you genuinely love him for the Mets this year. You think he's going to be like their setup guy.
The reason I brought him up, he just followed me on Instagram.
Okay.
And I can't remember that he got traded to the freaking Mets. He did with Freddie Peralta.
I brought him up because 2 years ago it was him off the waivers from the White Sox. Last year it was Chad Patrick. Yeah. I could tell you how good of a prospect Sproat is. I could tell you about these other guys, and maybe they are, but we also just might hear about they find people. And they make them better, and they have for about a decade.
How is he going to fit on this roster that he's not on? How is
it's tough. It's tough.
That's the second time I've done that.
I know. Third year out. And again, if you're looking for more Churrillo, or if you're looking for anything, make sure you go check out our partners at Amazon. Shop Amazon. Save on essentials. Save the everyday. Garrett Mitchell, can he stay healthy? Rengifo reeks of it's going to be June 1st, and he's got an 800 OPS. I don't know. There's some divisional conversation. The Cubs have stepped up their game. The Pirates and Reds, every year we think they're going to step up their game. But there's one team at the end always laughing. And, I like what they have.
Hey, listen to the Andrew Vaughn. I got a page up here with some good stats you're going to love. So from opening day through July 6th, Milwaukee had the 15th best weighted runs created plus in baseball at 98. They were 16th in batting average, 19th in OPS. Then from July 7th, the day that Vaughn was called up, to the end of the regular season, the Brewers had the second best WRC plus in Major League Baseball, while ranking second in batting average and fifth in OPS. So Vaughn sparked that team like no other. Got to do it again.
Trev, it's crazy when you think about it. On May 24th last year, they were 25-28. They didn't get out of the gate good. And Pat Murphy had some quotes that were scaring us. We were wondering if the wheels were going to fall off. If they can handle that, to have the best record in baseball easily, easily. I love how they're set up. And Trev, this is my favorite part of every TPP season because I don't know if we're still doing locks.
We're locking. I'm already locked. I don't even know what the number is. I'm locking it.
Trev, this is disgusting.
Can I guess?
Please.
You're making me nervous here. Don't tell me this is 83.5.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not. So you can calm down. It's 84.5. Do you know how disrespectful that is?
It's so bad.
It doesn't make sense.
When's the last time they won less than 84 games?
It's a great question.
Long time ago.
In a full season, you'd have to go back to 2016.
Oh my goodness.
And let me read you. You know what? And this is why those 2016 Brewers felt a little different. Round the horn, Jonathan LaCroix, Chris Carter, Scooter Gennett, Jonathan Villar, Aaron Hill at third, 32 Ryan Brawny in left, your boy, Kirk Neuenhuis manning center, and Domingo Santana in right field. 73 was, I think Craig Counsell considered that a win that year. That is insane. Lock it in. I'm going to place a bet now because if we're just going to do that every year, I have no problem. This is my
I think you do it every year on the show. You're like, I'm placing the bet.
This is my new investment strategy. This is
silver stock in the Brewers
insane.
Over.
Silver stock in the Brewers. Get that on the graphics clip. We have one more team in today's episode, Coach Trevor Plouffe. It is the dirty Detroit Tigers, the Motor City Kitties, 87-75 last year. Got wobbly, blew the division down the stretch, but they advanced in the postseason. They went to the ALDS. They even went to Game 5 against Seattle in a crazy, crazy ball game that who knows what we'd be saying about them. We were scared coming into the offseason. We thought it was going to be, where is Tarek Skubal going? He's staying, and they brought in another guy. The offense ended up middle of the pack-ish. So did the pitching, so did the defense. So this is where sometimes the Tigres can be an interesting exercise. Who they lost? Your guy, Chris Paddock. He's out. Alex Lang, Jason Foley, Andy Ibanez, Paul Sewald, Justin Henry Malloy was always supposed to be a Ray. Get yourself a little of that stock. Rafael Montero, Jose Show Me Your Cat, Tommy Canley, Alex Cobb didn't play, unsigned. That's who's gone. Who's in Detroit?
Around the diamond, a lot of the same names. They did upgrade the pitching staff quite a bit. They brought in our guy Framber. They went and said, you know what? We're going to bring him in on a 3-year, 115. I believe it's 2 years, and then he gets a player option. Yes, I'm right about that. Just an absolute workhorse of a pitcher, a ground ball king, still can get swings and misses, kind of everything you want in a starter, besides the fact that he intentionally crossed up his catcher. But I think we're over that now. Are we over that?
I'm over it.
I still will think about it.
Okay.
But we can get past it. New team, new atmosphere. I think it's going to be great for Framber. They bring in the old dog, Justin Verlander. Maybe just to get the reins on Framber.
Yeah, right.
Here, Justin, here's $13 million. Make sure this guy doesn't, get off the tracks here. He comes over from San Francisco. He's 43. Right now, he's going to pitch till he's 65, Justin Verlander. Speaking of pitching till they're 65, Kenley Jansen's there and still doing it. 1 year, $11 million for him. He was with the Angels last year. Ho-hum, 62 games to a 2.59 ERA. My guy, Drew Anderson, former Lehigh Valley Iron Pig Drew Anderson, comes from the KBO on a 1 year, $7 million deal. They also have a club option for the following year. Other than that, they re-signed, or Glaber took the qualifying offer. They re-signed Kyle Finnegan, and that's kind of everybody that they added. Let's get to the lineup, Jakey boy. And I struggle with the Tigers lineup. Yeah. I do. This is according to Fangraphs. Your guy at the top, though, could change a lot of that. Kevin McGonigal, your breakout player of the year. I'm talking about Jake Storiale there. He looks the part. Looks great. He'll be at the top of the lineup, possibly.
Hopefully.
What I'm seeing here on the screen is different than what I'm seeing here on the sheet.
Well, I think Fangraphs has changed it in the past couple days because McGonigal, he's bought everyone in. I think everyone's kind of like it. It's hit the point where if the Tigers don't call him up, it's going to be very loud. So
we have him in for now.
I made this graphic yesterday, so it happened within 24 hours.
Yeah.
Fangraphs is like, we're in.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's read the updated list here. We got McGonigal at short, Glaber at second base, Kerry Carpenter at DH, Riley Green out there in left field, Spencer Torkelson at first base, Wenzel Perez in right field, Colt Keith at third base, Dylan Dingler behind the plate, and Parker Meadows in center field. Then on the bench / maybe the starting shortstop, Javi Baez, depending on what they do with McGonigal. Jemai Jones, Zach McGoatstree. That's what Jimmy Norp calls him. Something like that. And Jake Rogers. And also McKinsgoat. And also Matt Vierling is there. And I'll never forget that. Okay. That's the lineup, Jake. Can't wait to talk to you about it, but tell me about the rotation and the bullpen.
We pitch in Detroit. And it starts with arguably the baddest man in the game, Tarek Skubal, contract year. What number are we going to be talking about for him when it's all said and done? And then, we thought there was enough of a rotation to get through. They added Framber Valdez. Our guy, Jack Flaherty.
Hey, say Valdez again. That was nice.
Valdez.
Yeah.
Jack Flaherty, banging sliders. Justin Verlander, hanging every pitch. Casey Mize, the 1-1 pick. It kind of came together for him last year. And let's see, Troy Melton coming off some injury. Sawyer Gibson-Long finds a way. We'll see who else gets in the mix there. In the bullpen, like you mentioned, Kenley Jansen put his stats down already. Will Vest, Kyle Finnegan, Tyler Holton, here's a who. Your teammate, Drew Anderson. Didn't realize that.
Nice guy.
Hannafy, Herder, Gunther. You might even see some Bo Brisky at some point. Tanner Rainey, Scott Efros. Trev, I think we've stumbled into the conversation because it's changed and it's live. One of the top two prospects in the game, Kevin McGonigal at shortstop, a position that has, I don't want to say haunted the Tigers, but they signed Javi Baez to kind of figure it out, and he had a real struggle until last year when it clicked for the first half, and then he went back a little bit. They have a lot of these moving parts between Colt Keith and some of their other positions around the field, but I think, like you said, it got us a little bit. There's a new talk of the town in Detroit, and is our franchise shortstop making the team out of opening day?
He's got to. He looks the part. There's incentive to bring guys up nowadays. I think he has to. If you're serious about, if you keep Tarek Skubal around and you want to go for it, you need to go for it from the get-go, and this is your guy at shortstop. I don't know what that does to, like, their infield plans if he's the guy. So, yeah, you have Javi on the bench kind of, giving different guys a day off. I know Colt Keith is starting to play third base again this year. He's kind of been moving all over the place. Is that a permanent home for him? Does Baez step in and is he the third baseman at some point? McKinsgoat, all these things. But I think if you just look at the guy play, you understand he should be starting at shortstop, or at least given the opportunity. And we'll see how he does at the big league level when the lights are on. Yeah, shining bright. But the opportunity should present itself for him. I mean, I don't think there's any question about it.
Yes, and I could see them doing a little bit of funny business. If you're the Tigers, is it worth it to do the keep McGonigal down for 3.5 weeks and then call him up? And I know we have new rules that if you finish high enough in Rookie of the Year voting and that it doesn't matter for service time, but for the player he's potentially thought to be, it may be worthwhile for a Tigers team that has one of the clearest paths to the postseason that maybe they play that funny business game. Maybe they don't, because, Trev, like you said, this season should feel different because it's Skubal's last year there. Like, that's laid out.
Yeah, I mean, I just that was our question for so long in the offseason. What the hell are they going to do with Skubal? The question's answered. Like, he is going to be a Tiger for the rest of the season. Like, you can't trade him now in any way, shape, or form. It just will not happen. Especially because, like you said, they do have a clear path to the playoffs. I mean, look, you can talk about the Royals and the AL Central and the Guardians doing their thing because they did win it last year.
Yeah.
But the Tigers surely seem like the favorite. An overwhelming favorite, I would say. I wonder what the odds are on that. Yeah, and like you mentioned, keeping a guy down for 3 weeks, and he's if he is the guy you think he is, he's going to get that full year of service time anyway. So I think they just got to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly going to be on Tigers fans' mind, the team mind, and this is how pathetic I am, but I watched the kid play one game, and it's just like, oh yeah, that works.
He's got a great swing. What could go wrong for the Tigers? I know they struggled at the end of the season last year, kind of like flip-flop what they did in 2024. I believe they went like 17-8 in September, and then when they're doing pitching chaos, and then in 2025, I believe they went 8-17.
Yeah,
and just kind of almost didn't get into the playoffs.
Yeah,
what could go wrong for them?
I think
is it offense related?
It's related to the offense / playing time. Like you mentioned, I mean, Javi Baez hit lefties last year and he got off to a great start. Where is he at on this team, and how does that feel? That as Rob mentioned, he's producing the show. He made a graphic that had Parker Meadows batting leadoff yesterday. Today's lineup, he's batting ninth. So like, there's clearly some questions around the lineup. There's enough stability for me between Torres, Carpenter, Green, and Torkelson that I know we're going to have some level of offense. But yeah, to pretend it's going to be clean, like you see both paths of this team. If everyone trends up, if Colt Keith kind of builds upon last year, if McGonigal gets some run and he's a guy, like Carpenter actually kind of played below a little bit who I think he is as a player. That does Riley Green have more? I don't know. If he does, he's an elite player in this game. I like it. I like it in the Central. I think they're going to be able to pitch a lot. I guess if you really, some Coach Trev and Jake stuff, we got some personalities around this team. I mean, from Skubal to, just in the rotation, Skubal, Framber, Jack, and JV. That's a lot of testosterone.
That's a hell of a quarterback room right there.
That's an FRF room. That I can see that going some different ways with Hinch. I don't know. I guess, yeah, dude. I end up doing corny stuff where it's like this season having so much expectations on it. Could that add something?
Shout out Dylan Dingler for sneaky, good offensive season, winning the Gold Glove. Like, that matters. Having a catcher that can do that. I always say offensive catcher, especially if he is a plus defender, that's a cheat code.
Good ball name, too.
Dylan Dingler.
Dingler? Come on.
Tingler and Dingler. They need to start a podcast.
We'd watch.
I wouldn't watch it. No,
BBD would watch, and he'd let me know what happened. No Wenzel Perez mentioned. I don't know. What else? Like, the bullpen kind of felt problematic for this team for parts of last year, but you look at it on paper, and it doesn't feel scary.
And you bring in Kenley Jansen.
I mean, I get if the Royals take a leap, if the Guardians continue to be the Guardians and the baseball gods are tough on you, I don't know. You could do that for any team. I think they have the easiest path to the postseason this year.
What's up with Troy Melton and his elbow?
Troy Melton, I had listed as
he's yet to resume throwing. Second week of a projected 1 to 2 week shutdown period after diagnosed with a right elbow strain.
So yeah,
because he's another guy that you just see having massive success for them, whether he is starting, whether he is in the pen. So they have a guy like that. They got Max Clark, who's getting just destroyed online right now, but he's approaching the big leagues, and he can be a threat in their outfield at some point this year as well. So not only do they have what we think is a very talented, and I don't know. It's a talented lineup. You have some reinforcements coming as well. with McGonigal and Clark. Where were you at with Clark in that whole thing? I gave my whole spiel to Chris Rose the other day.
He's a kid. I don't care. It's spring training. Like I don't get me wrong. I think if I was a veteran in the clubhouse and Max Clark was wearing 5 chains and he had a bad day in the outfield, I think I might give him a little extra hard slap on the butt after the game. But like,
that's what I told Rose. I said I for sure would have made fun of him.
Yeah,
no doubt.
You have to. And if Max Clark can't realize that's coming, like, and I think he does. Like, I think this modern generation of players has been so online that they've dealt with so much crap throughout that I think Max Clark knew he had a bad day at the office. I don't think he walked off the field like, I crushed it today. Like,
no, he put out a big statement. Rob's getting the picture up of another post he did. Okay, we're gonna look at the video first. It's a lot of chains.
This is crazy. He might not even make the show this year. If he does, watch out. Like, he's a legit prospect, but is this not spring training? Is this not Arizona in the high sun?
I don't care about any of these plays. I don't care about any of these plays. I think it's ridiculous that people are getting on him for the chains. Like, again, you want to make fun of him? Go ahead. I might talk. If I was in the clubhouse, I might talk to him about that picture. Like, hey, buddy. Like, you're gonna get you're setting yourself up to get robbed, dude.
Yes, I would say that.
Yeah,
I would say that. I would say that to whether my friends were ball players or not. I would say, don't. There's no need to post that. But I don't know, man.
How much was that right there?
You'd have to help me out
10K?
On the watches. I'm
no, the cash. Do you see the cash?
I see the cash. I mean, if those are all undies, that's a chunk of change, but I don't, that's normally not in my pocket or my suitcase that he's got going on. I'm all tied up in silver and Brewers right now.
Enough about Max Clark.
Max Clark. And that's just how ridiculous baseball is. Hey, I hope Max Clark and McGonigal are a big part of the Tigers season, because I think that would be good news for them and the Tigres.
Gosh, they have this one thing I'm looking at right now is this entire Tigers position player group is around for a long time. Like, none of these guys are going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, Glaber's the only
one.
And he came back on the qualifying offer that, and hey, if McGonigal clicks up the middle, we can slide someone over. Like, no, these Tigers are set up. These Tigers are set up for this to work. It's just going to be Scoobles last year. How does Framber feel in that ballpark? Which, by the way, like, going from Houston to Detroit, that Framber's numbers, if he pitches like he does, they could win. They could have the most wins in baseball this year. That would be our social media team looking for clicks move. Like, I think they're set up for that. I think where the AL Central is, I think their reinforcements.
That's a bold take. Hot. It's hot, Coach.
I'm hot.
I can feel it through the screen, but I'm not in on that one. But I do like the Tigers, and I am curious what their over/under is.
The Detroit Tigers over/under is 85.5. Like we mentioned, they won 87 games last year. They limped down the stretch. I think they bolstered this team.
I'm going over, Coach. I went 3 overs today. How's that? Am I in a good mood or something?
I think you are. I think you had a nice couple days. And I think this line's low. Like, if the Tigers didn't limp down the stretch last year, they win 90, 91 games, and then they added Framber Valdez, and they might have a top prospect joining them. Like, I don't know. Again, maybe I'm Looney Tunes Jake, who just placed a bet on the Brewers, and I like the Tigers, but did I go 3 overs too? Yeah. Oh boy.
We all went.
Boy.
Tough day for us. Yeah.
That's going to be a tough relive in August. Maybe it's not. Maybe we're goddamn geniuses. If you think we're geniuses or fools, let us know in the comments, because we do appreciate it. Javi Baez, brother-in-law of?
I don't know.
Your guy, Jose Barrios.
Did I know that?
I don't know. I feel like I did, and I also forgot. So come here for baseball fun facts. Thank you guys so much. Down the stretch, 7 more teams. less than 3 weeks from baseball, almost 2 weeks. Holy smokes. Thank you guys. Subscribe, share, go baseball. Yee. Slider.